we were the first ones to offer poor style teas in India. So we did that in 2018 when we got in touch with a few tea making folks in Manipur, and they were also very interested in doing something unique with the tea trees they had.
Hi, welcome to Swishing Mindsets. This is Anuradha, and today I'm speaking to Susmit Pratik, an HT connoisseur and the founder of Ketlee. Hi, Susmit, how are you?
Hi, Anuradha, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm very excited to be speaking to you. We've been planning this for a few months now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you, like I said, about aged tea.
Mm,
We hear about wine gets better with age, whiskey gets better with
mm,
age.
mm,
But tea is something that we don't know about because,
mm.
normally we talk about fresh tea and tea leaves
Yeah,
going stale. So,
yeah,
and now what I was reading up, apparently you have even 100-year-old tea. So, tell me,
yeah.
you deal with HT and, just what is HT and how does it work, and
Mm.
tell me about it.
So aging is mainly done for pu'erh teas and some oolong teas, but mostly with raw kind of pu'erh teas. So
Poor
uh,
is P-U-E-R-H. That is
ERH, yes,
Chinese in China,
yeah,
right? It began.
yeah, yeah. So like you have black tea, green tea, oolong tea, white tea. There's another category called pu'erh teas, and it is a post-fermented style of tea. So it has a little bit of moisture in the leaves left, so that the tea can still be called alive and it can transform with time. So because it because some moisture is intentionally left while processing it, it is a tea which is much more suitable for aging. But still, you have people in China and Taiwan who have been making oolong teas for very long. So they sometimes they age their oolong teas as well. But mainly aging is done for pu'erh teas and the raw form of it. There are two kinds of pu'erh teas. One is Sheng pu'erh and the other is Shu pu'erh. So the Sheng one is raw pu'erh and Shu is ripe pu'erh. So Raipur was basically done to mimic aging in Shangpur, but it turned out to be a category of its own. And right now, like everything, it has evolved with time, and it is being made entirely for what it was not intended to, like just another subcategory, and not to mimic.
Okay.
So we were the first ones to offer poor style teas in India. So we did that in 2018 when we got in touch with a few tea making folks in Manipur, and they were also very interested in doing something unique with the tea trees they had. We don't have a lot of tea trees in India. Most of our production comes from uh, uh, no, commercial farms or at least uh, plants which have been planted for commercial farming. But with Manipur, what's unique is that they have a lot of wild growing tea trees, which are approximately 150 to 200 years old. It can be more, and it's a very tricky topic in the tea industry. So we just claim it to be around 150 to 200. So the people in Manipur, they were making teas using those trees, and the village records say that they have been making it for 200 to 250 years. So earlier they were only making black teas and sometimes green teas, but after our partners got in touch with them, they started making oolong teas, pu'erh teas, and white teas under their guidance. So this whole thing about aging teas came into our minds only when we had the capability to make this style of tea. So that's how it started.
Okay. How tall are these trees? You're saying tea trees as opposed to the
Yeah,
plantations that we see
yeah,
normally.
yeah. So they're almost as tall as mango trees, a mid-sized mango tree, and some of the oldest trees are of size of bigger mango trees, like maybe two floors of a normal building.
Oh, wow. That's
Yes,
interesting. And this
yeah.
is oolong tea.
No, this is a normal Assamica variety of
Okay.
the tea plant.
Hmm.
So the two main varieties of tea. One is Camellia sinensis, and the other one is Camellia sinensis var. Assamica. So, like the name suggests, Assamica is comes from the Assam region of India. Although nobody knows where the tea plant actually originated, but it was broadly somewhere from uh, the northeast of India to Yunnan, China. And people do believe that Assamica variety was first found here.
Okay. So how did you come across this? And more importantly, how did you come across, aged tea, poor tea, what gave you that idea?
So when I started working in tea, it was in 2015. So I started a company named after my grandfather and uh, called it Janardhan Enterprises. So with that, my aim was to offer teas from India, which are not already being offered in wholesale. So at that time, I was not aware of many other regions apart from Darjeeling and Assam. So Sikkim was the first one which we started working with. So from 2015 to 2018, we dealt exclusively with Sikkim tea. And in 2018, I started Ketlee. So then I started looking to expand into other regions for retail offerings. So as I was looking for more regions, I came across these people who were making teas in Manipur. Like you talk to a tea producer and then they tell you about, "Okay, this is the interesting thing happening in our region." So that's how through mutual contacts I found them. And then
Okay.
even they were interested in this direction. So it has been very good since then.
Okay. So HT, I'm coming back to that,
Mm,
because it's something very new to me, and I'm sure
mm,
many people, most people. So when
mm.
did you first, have your first sip of, say, aged tea, and how old was this tea?
I didn't really have any uh, HD in 2018 to try. So we just started with our own, and as in when we it's not really aged, but you can see how the tea is changing every year. So with the poor teas we made, we kept some for us and some for us to taste while experimenting. So and since we knew that poor tea changes with time, the results were noticeable uh, from like the first major change was after 6 months. So after that, we used to keep drinking it every 6 months or so, and that's how we got to know how it changes with time. Because if we have an aged tea from China, it might taste very good, but I'll not know how it tasted 5 years or 10 years back. But when I'm doing it with my own tea, at least I have that convenience of seeing how it is changing. So that was my first experience with that.
Okay, and how does it change over the months? Because, we normally, again, we put that
Hmm.
emphasis on fresh tea.
Yeah, yeah.
How does it change?
So, with main changes are that the harsher notes, which are some people call them like green tea notes, uh, the astringency, the bitterness, that tones down a little. The sweet notes keep developing into something darker. Like if the tea tastes like normal, um, fruity when it is young, as and when it will age, it might turn into something more dark, like dates and raisins. Uh, so it gets sweeter, the fruity notes get more intense, and some dark notes like dates, raisins, and all start making an appearance. At least with our style of Shengpu teas, and but it is quite possible to for it to change in any other way, like depending on how the tea is processed. The sky is here limited. It depends on so many things that it cannot be generalized. But yeah, mainly it gets sweeter and gets less bitter.
Okay, what are these things you're saying? There are like so many factors that influence the taste. Can you just tell us, give us an idea of a few?
So mainly processing and what kind of the what variety of tea plant it comes from. So during processing, I'll give a few examples. It depends on how much it is oxidized. So green tea is oxidized almost 0%, and black teas traditionally are oxidized almost completely. So, depending on how much oxidation, and I'll also tell you about Sheng Puertes. It's closer to green tea than black tea. The leaves are greener when it is young. Uh, but it's not 0% oxidation like green tea because it needs to be oxidized a little so that it can again interact with air and increase the oxidation as it ages. So, how much oxidation is there on the tea defines how it will change. Then, during processing, if you sun dry it or if you air dry it, both of them are going to give very different results. Most of the estate teas are air dried because that's how you make a good tea at scale. Sun drying is more like an artisanal process and cannot it can be only done for a limited quantity, say maximum 10-15 kgs. If you want to do more than that in a day, it might get very difficult or require large amounts of spaces. So if it is sun dried, it will age differently. It will it will also taste different when fresh, sun dried and air dried. So that's another parameter which will change how it will age because that also changes how it is tasting when it is not aged. So those two main things and uh, how it is rolled, how much it is steamed, what where it is stored at, all of them make a difference in aging.
Okay. And it's also, I was just reading there's something called the Falap tea in
Yeah,
Assam,
yeah,
Arunachal, and that's
yeah,
stuffed into bamboo tubes.
yeah. So that's a tea which is popular more for its for how rare it is and how less available it is than for its taste. So it is definitely my personal opinion, but it is backed by quite a few people in the tea industry that it's more hype than uh, really amazing tea. Just because it comes in a bamboo and stuffed and roasted over fire for a few years and it still tastes like only bamboo. There's no finesse in that style. So,
Okay.
uh, yeah, that's how I see Falap in this. So that's they basically steam the tea and stuff it into the bamboo. There's no processing like withering, rolling happening with that. Probably a little rolling when they are stuffing it in, but it's not. It's something which is there just for the hype.
Okay. But this is like a traditional process that is
Yeah,
going on.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's done by the Singpho tribe, I think, and they're I think based in Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. There's a place called Margarita. I think they are mainly living there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the coming back to HTs,
Mm,
which we're talking about, how
mm,
the ones that you've made, and we can buy it from your website
mm,
also, right?
mm,
So,
mm,
how old and how many years old would these be, and how old can they get? Can it be like 100-year-old tea that if we want to buy
mm,
something like that, or suppose we want to, let's say, gift somebody on their birthday, and we
mm.
get something from that year,
Yeah,
like you might get a wine bottle or something. So, is that
yeah.
possible?
So that's possible with Chinese teas. If somebody's from after 2018, maybe with these teas as well, but we don't have one from every year actually right now for aging because it was very small quantities being produced, and also this kind of tea experimental, so we don't use all the tea leaves coming in for this. So we have a few options from 2020 and I think 2023. After that, another sad thing which happened was the Manipur unrest, because of which we couldn't produce anything in 2024 and this year. So I'm hoping that that gets resolved so that we can get back to making at least some from every year. So, but this is quite a trend. People do actually buy the birth year teas for gifting and aging. So, since puer teas are being made in China quite consistently, like their industry is much like uh, I would put it as like how we make Darjeeling and Assam teas every year, and you can get something from every year. It's the same with poeties in China. So from there you can get it. But here, since it's just one region and only one producer making it, we don't have the quantities yet to make. something from every year. Now we can, but we are waiting for things to get normal.
Yeah. So are you still the only person in India making this pu'er
Yeah,
teas? Okay.
yes.
Okay.
No, actually not. There's a farm in they're doing a very small quantity as well. There's a farm called Vijay Lakshmi Farms. So they have been making it as well. So it's run by two wonderful guys, Suresh and Prabhu. So they have been making raw and ripe varieties from the plantation they have. So in their plantation, what they have done is to mimic the old treaties. They have let a few sections grow without pruning every year. So they are getting taller every year, and they don't look like your usual waist height plantation plants. So they are doing it apart from us.
Okay. And what do these what does the tea look like? It's a tea cake I was reading. It looks like
Yeah,
a tea
yeah,
cake and you cut bits of it and then you can keep
yeah,
reusing it.
yeah. So reusing is possible with a lot of these, but yeah, this is pressed into cakes or pearls or wafers, and you break apart a small part using a knife and use it for brewing in a gaiwan, preferably. So gaiwan is a Chinese style brewing vessel, which has a small cup and a lid. So when you brew in a gaiwan, what you do is you use higher ratio and you do multiple infusions. So if you're using 3 grams for around 300 to 400 ml tea in a teapot, you use 3 grams per 100 ml in a gaiwan.
Okay. And are these very expensive? If you
No,
buy
not.
HD compared to the regular tea we have?
Yeah, compared to regular tea, it is expensive. Some of the batches are priced higher, because which the ones which took us a lot of research and development costs, they are higher than the rest. But I think right now only the 2023 batches done is around I think 80,000 rupees a kg. Before that, I all the years batches are priced around 20 to 30,000 rupees a kg. But nobody buys a kg of this tea. They buy either a 200-gram cake or a 8-gram pearl or a 25-gram wafer. So the pearl cost around, I think, 200 rupees a pearl, and the wafer is 1,000 rupees a wafer, approximately. I don't remember the exact price we have set, but
Hmm.
it's around that range.
Yeah,
So
quite
when you,
accessible. Yeah.
yeah, so those are accessible, and also they give you a very nice experience. Like if you use 3 grams per 100 ml, they give you around 8 to 10 brews. So that's 800 ml of tea in 3 grams of leaves. So you can easily share it with somebody and have a long, nice session. So it's quite an experience.
Yeah, I'm sure. And how long do you have to steep it, this tea?
It depends on your preference. I usually do it for 20 seconds for the first brew, and then I keep adding 5 seconds for every subsequent brew in the Gaiwan.
Okay.
When you are doing it in a teapot, like yeah, when you brew it Western style, as it is called, you brew it for around 3 to 4 minutes, and the ratio is what I was talking about earlier, 3 grams for 300 to 400 ml.
Okay, that's great. And can you make this at home?
Yeah, yeah, definitely you can make this
I
at
mean, can
home.
you preserve tea at home?
Preserve as in?
As in make a tea cake at home, and just age it at home. Is that
Yeah,
possible?
yeah, yeah. And in India, it's actually very easy. When people in Europe and Northern America buy teas from India and China for aging, they have to work quite hard to, keep it at at temperatures we have all throughout the year. So they have to maintain the temperature of around 18, 20 degrees. They have to maintain the humidity. We are blessed with tropical climate. So even if you age it in open air, just make sure you don't let a lot of moisture in. But because our weather changes so much, it ages fairly quickly, and you don't have to uh, work hard around it. Like when people in the USA age it, they have to buy moisture packs and keep the moisture level high. And we are blessed with rains and tropical climate, so that helps in aging in India.
Okay. And just another question, I'm just thinking, like,
Mm.
so what about tea that just gets old in your house? You just buy some tea off the rack and it gets old. So does it have an expiry date? Tea, does it get
Uh,
stale?
it does lose its flavors. For example, if you have Darjeeling tea, it's not going to taste as good as it did when fresh, especially after 1.5 years. If you store it in a cool and dry place, it might be good till 2 years. And after that, also, if some teas stay good, some teas don't. But it depends on your luck, basically, after that. But till 2 years, it's possible to store it. After that, it's not harmful to drink. It will just have lesser flavor than how it was at its peak.
Okay. So Smith, we are supposed to be a tea drinking nation, right? We
Mm.
love our tea, but mostly it's just like, cutting chai and, it's
Yeah.
mostly milk tea, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so what do you think? Is that the way to go, or to really appreciate tea and, we should go the black tea route, what is it?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Because yeah,
Uh,
any kind of beverage is supposed to bring us joy. If masala chai brings you joy, then there's nothing better than it. Yeah, there are ways around making it healthier. Like if sugar is bad, if you are being recommended to have less sugar, maybe you can have less sugar or zero sugar in your tea. But if masala chai is bringing you joy, we shouldn't be forcing people to drink green teas because I like them or you like them. So there's no way as such. And also, yeah, people are getting lot more into fine loose leaf teas. Even 10, 20 years back, there were some people who were really into good teas from Darjeeling and Assam, but accessibility was a problem. So right now, because we have so many companies like us, you can easily look for it online and order it. So now people are you know getting more space to enjoy these teas, so it is increasing a lot. Our Indian initially when we started, our orders were only from outside India, but in the last few years, and especially after COVID times when people had a lot of time and also were focusing on their health, so due to either of the reasons, they got into a lot of loose leaf teas, and that has grown a lot. So I think as our disposable income increases, which should happen in our generation, uh, people are going to get into this. And you can already see that in the coffee industry. Earlier, it was just filter coffee, but right now we have so many great companies in coffee coming up. And first generation companies are innovating a lot and opening up cafes, roasting their coffee in a world-class manner. So similarly with tea, uh, that has also started. I think only it's a matter of time before these teas get very popular in India as well.
okay. So what teas that you sell, which are the more popular ones in India and globally? What do you see?
So it's very interesting because last year I would have said that a lot of our single origin CTCs and masala chais were selling a lot more in India, and outside people are really interested in our Nilgiri green teas, in our wild teas from Manipur, and also some special batch Assams which we get. So people were a lot interested. But right now it's a mix and match. Recently, I've been getting a lot of orders for single origin CTCs, which we sell for making chai with milk. So from the US, and a lot of good loose leaf teas orders from India. So last year it was opposite of this. So it keeps changing according to time. But yeah, specifically our Nilgiri green teas are liked a lot because those are the only green teas from India which offer like almost no bitterness. They are pretty fruity as well. So Nilgiri green teas are quite popular, and first flush from Meghalaya. Some Sikkim oolongs are also they also sell as quick as we get it. So yeah, these are the ones, but it keeps changing every season, every year.
Yeah. So normally you just hear of a lot of flavored tea these days, like
Hmm. Hmm.
hibiscus, rose,
Hmm.
chamomile, of course, is a huge favorite because it
Hmm.
helps you
Hmm.
before bedtime. So
Yeah.
anything like that? Any comment on that? Like, so this huge infusion of flavored
Hmm.
teas these days.
Yeah, th those are pretty good as well. Especially in India, we have been growing some really good herbs. Our lemongrass is great. Our hibiscus is great. So those are good for the purpose they solve. So if somebody is interested in herbal teas, we have got a lot of good options in India right now. Uh, I was recently in Ladakh, and that's the reason I couldn't join you for a chat earlier. So what I saw there was the kind of chamomile buds they are growing over there. I had not seen them, and I run another company called Ranchi Tea Company as well, and that focuses more on milk teas, herbal teas, and it has a basic low black tea and green tea. So for that, I had tried a lot of chamomile teas from all across India and from many producers. But what I saw there was impeccable. So I'm trying to get that from my for my company as well. But even they were not aware of the demand they might get because of their quality being so good. So yeah, this direction is great as well. We have a lot of good herbs growing, and we should definitely, market them better.
Okay. And tell me, what is the difference, between Orthodox and CTC tea, and is one superior than the other?
No, definitely not superior because they are not in competition with each other at all. CTC is meant for brewing with milk or for making beverages like lemon tea or lemon iced tea. And Orthodox is made for a different purpose. It is made to be had black. So Orthodox means nothing but loose leaf teas. That's a processing. And CTC is crushed tea or curl. So they chop the leaves and then they shape them into, after oxidation, they shape them into granules. So they're oxidized more and they give a much darker color when brewed with milk.
Okay. And we see a lot of coffee cafes,
Hmm,
obviously.
hmm,
But what about tea? I can see, there's a lot of conversation about tea these
hmm,
days.
hmm,
And we keep hearing these reports that, Gen Z is
hmm,
not really into alcohol. They're more into,
hmm, hmm.
beverages like this. So do you
Yeah.
see, tea drinking becoming more popular, cafes opening up? Do you see that?
Yeah, yeah, I see that happening as well. Even the coffee shops, they make sure to have some good tea in their menu. So uh, and I can see quite a few tea cafes opening. Yeah, in fact, even when we can afford to do so, we would also love opening up a tea cafe. So yeah, that's happening in the existing infrastructure as well, and I see a lot of interest in people opening up new places for tea.
Okay. You're also providing teas wholesale, right? For people who want
Yeah,
to set up cafes.
yeah, we do that.
Yeah, I saw on LinkedIn you had posted that even there's no limit to, the
Hmm.
upper limit. You can just buy even 1 kg of tea to stock in your cafe. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Yeah, we do that, and that's really helpful for small cafes and people who are really interested but cannot order from the bigger estates. So, and it's even more helpful for small cafes outside India. So we get quite a few orders from them, which are just 1 kg or 2 kgs of these teas. But it's definitely workable, and actually it's better because uh, these kinds of teas, sometimes they are a batch of just 10 to 15 kgs. So it's easy to supply small quantities for them.
yeah. And tell me, what about the tea industry? What is the scope right now? What is your vision for it, for your own, for Ketlee
Hmm.
and otherwise?
For Kettle, it's just to expand on what we are already doing, like trying to offer teas from the remotest corners of India. This year, we added a first flush from Himachal. We had been looking to source a nice batch from there. So this year, we did that. And as and when new producers in other regions, like we still don't have any tea from Nagaland, and they also grow tea. We don't have any tea from Tripura. So we're trying to find small places which are growing and processing nice tea, and we want to expand on that. The offline and retail thing is just a um, fantasy right now, and not a solid plan, and that it's just something I would like to do. But mainly, I would like be focusing on expanding the collection we have right now.
Okay. And where do you source your tea? You mentioned tea farmers. So is it from small farmers, big plantations? Where do you get your
So
tea?
it's a mix of both. Wherever we find the best tasting tea, we go ahead with that. Um, with Yeah, it depends on what's available from which region. So, for example, if I have to buy CTC, I'll definitely have to buy it from a big estate because they have been making it at scale and they have the required quantities. With loose leaf tea, it depends where we are getting the best teas from. In Nilgiri, it's mostly always from the big estates. In Assam, it's mostly from small farmers. So it depends on what we are getting.
Okay. Any challenges that you face, regarding sourcing tea or anything?
Not right now. Initially, there were a few challenges, but those are the same challenges any new company faces because people don't know about you, so they don't trust you, to buy the teas or they don't take you seriously. So that's a challenge I think which is present in every industry. But apart from that, not really. If you look up the tea estates and if you're using social media, you do come across people you can easily get your teas from.
And there's a lot of, focus on health these days.
Mhm.
And, is aged tea healthier? Is milk
No,
tea
not
less healthy? Anything like that?
not really, because we, first of all, we don't like really promote the health benefits of tea on our shop. So that's how we approach tea. We
Yeah.
want
Purely
to,
for joy. Huh.
yeah, purely for joy and how good it tastes. But of course, tea is healthy, and a lot of uh, research papers do say that it is good for your overall well-being. But it is not going to be a magic pill. It's not going to make you magically reduce your weight. So.
Right. So what is
Um,
your vision for Ketlee going forward?
just to have teas from more regions and to source even better batches than we do right now.
Okay, that's great, Sushmit.
Mm.
Thanks so much. Anything you'd like to add?
Uh, uh, Not right now. If you have any questions, I can
Sure,
answer them.
sure. Yeah, I'm going to try your teas and then, maybe we can do another session sometime. Thank
Yeah,
you for
for
doing
sure.
this.
Yeah. Thank you.